President, over the last few months, we know the King has made some small symbolic gestures to show his support for Canada's sovereignty, but this time he rearranged his schedule. He got on a plane. He is opening Parliament. In the world of soft power moves, how strong is this statement?
Well, this would be considered a diplomatic balancing act. You know, our king decided that he was going to come and help Mark Carney open up Parliament and, you know, remind us of our background and our historical presence within the monarchy. So I think King Charles has made a wise decision for him and also for Prime Minister Carney, and I hope for the country in the end that it gives Canadian citizens a little time to sort of sit back and reflect on who we are as a people and who we are as a country.
A recent Ipsos polling shows that Canada's support for the monarchy has gone up slightly. 46% of Canadians say Canada should end its ties with the monarchy, and that's a drop from 2022. 60% of them say, more than 60% saying that they support the monarchy. What do you think is behind this shift in sentiment? And we know sort of the global messaging that's around this visit, but what would it mean to Canadians?
Well, I think, first of all, President Trump and the tariffs have probably caused a little bit of a shift in how Canadians feel about themselves. And so, therefore, our polls by Ipsos, and that may be reflecting their feelings about national identity, and that the King is very much a part of a way forward for Canada as she starts to find new direction with allies outside of the United States. So I think everyone here is being helpful to each other. The King, the Prime Minister, and the President of the United States has sort of brought us to this moment.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about new relationships, but really this is the original global relationship that we had back to the back to the crown. Yes. and to the King.
I know.
Well, the King likely knew of Mark Carney when he was the governor of the Bank of England, and one of the Prime Minister's first trips was to visit the royal family and the King and Queen when he visited back in May. What does this visit say about the Prime Minister's relationships with the royal family? He can make the ask in May, and that the King is, or he can make the ask in his first visit, and then the King is here at the end of May.
Well, that in itself is pretty impressive. Being a former staffer in a Prime Minister's office and working on royal visits and state visits, I can only imagine what it was like for Buckingham Palace to start rearranging a schedule in a very short period of time. Now, I know the visit is only for about 24 hours, but still, you know, it is quite significant. And clearly, Prime Minister Carney has a global Rolodex. He seems to know a lot of people around the world from being governor of the Bank of Canada and governor of the Bank of England. And they would have, I would not speak for Prime Minister Carney, but I'm sure he and the King have met each other several times in the United Kingdom at other official events or cocktail parties, or, you know, they would know each other to some extent. And you know, clearly Prime Minister Carney has a pretty good reputation as a global statesman at this point, which has come also with the help of King Charles.
Let's talk about the leaders south of the border. U.S. President Trump has expressed his great admiration for the royals. You know, part of the underscoring of this visit is sovereignty, Canada's sovereignty. Canada's not for sale. We don't want to be the 51st state. How do you think the president could interpret a message that doubles down on our sovereignty that comes from the King?
Well, I think the president's probably a little jealous that we have the King in Canada. You know, look, not every Canadian's thrilled about this visit, I'm sure, but again, hopefully it's not to. The purpose for this is to help Canada move forward and to give Trump a little wave that we're fine. We're not going to be the 51st state. See, we have other friends. We are part of a larger Commonwealth. We are part of, you know, we have ties to the United Kingdom. So, you know, President Trump, we're going to be good neighbors and we will figure out our trade issues with you. But we, Canada, we're just fine, and we're going to figure out other friendships.
Yeah, I mean, holding ties with our original friends, right? We fought a war over our loyalty to the King, so we are putting history on display today. Bonnie Brownlee, international royal commentator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie.